Hi guys, ArchieLuxury on the Pluta channel doing a paid review. This here is for Fred. He wants some help choosing a GMT. This is paid review 24QA39. Quick wristwatch check. We're in a bluesy Submariner. Guys, let's run the intro and then let's get down and discuss the best watch for him. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury here on the Pluta channel. We're doing a paid review today. This is for Fred, and Fred actually, this is part 2, help with choosing a GMT part 2. He goes, okay, thank you for your review. This was a review he requested. I came away deciding to travel from now with my Panerai on a rubber bee strap this summer only. Meanwhile, you have convinced me to get a Black Bay Pro and then an Explorer 2. And now I have questions relating to a long-term plan. Here we go. With the passing of my father, I've become something of the family patriarch. As such, I just got my niece a used Omega Constellation for her graduation, and her brother, my nephew and godson, will graduate in a few years. So I figure I'll buy a Black Bay Pro, wear it, and give it to my nephew when he comes of age, and save my Tudor sub for one of my sons. Once my nephew has the Black Bay Pro, it would make sense for me to get an Explorer 2. I don't like to flip or trade up, and I usually prefer unique to hype. I have attached what I hope is a better picture of my collection. So this was his collection, and let's just call this baby up. I'll just get this up on the screen. Let's see if we can make some heads or tails leeway out of this collection here. Grabbing it now, loading the module, and here we go. Boom. Here we go. So what does he have in his collection? Well, he's got a few interesting pieces. Now again, the photography is pretty poor. He's got too much bright light. And you can see where there's limited light, like on the Tudor sub, the picture looks pretty good. So the secret is, for good photography, less light. Take your photos sunset or sun dawn. So the dawn, that's right, guys. So anyhow, what can I say? Let's have a look here. I've attached what I hope is a better picture of my collection. He's got a Tudor sub. I don't know the model number, but you mentioned it was special because it's a plastic bezel. Yes, this is a vintage Tudor sub, quite valuable. My dad gave me this watch in 1999, not for sale, but it's worth a lot. I can't tell on Chrono 24. Well, they're kind of collectible. These are collectible. I mean, they're not as, they're kind of equivalent to the 1680 or 5513 Submariners, not as valuable, but very collectible. He's got a PAM 352. Now the thing is, you're saying I don't get it. I can't tell via chrono. What do you mean you can't tell? I don't understand. What do you mean you can't tell? I don't understand. These watches here Generally speaking, a Tudor sub, um, these are kind of best way to look at it is if you want to get a bit of a pricing guide, Chrono 24 is not terrible. They're around about the $6,000 to $8,000 mark. That's what I would sort of say for a plastic submariner. Depends on box papers. It depends on a number of issues, but you can decide whether that's valuable or not. The next piece is a PAM 352. I bought this in 2015 after looking at it over a decade. One day after my first day with my wife, she wore it at our wedding. Then he's got number 3 is a Patek. This is an annual calendar. Patek 5235G. This was my first big boy watch. Yes, it is. Then he's got a Zenith El Primero 38mm. This is my daily driver at work. I love that it's a bit old factory machining. It was stolen. Oh yeah, yes. He's talking about the Zenith story. The Zenith story of how they were told to dismantle the machinery, and they secretly kept it. The number 5 is an Apollo 17 Speedy 40th anniversary. Marmite, because people love or hate this watch. This is the other daily watch. I love this watch, the so-called last man on the moon. He's also, you might notice, he's got an Aaron bespoke strap. I'm asking for a collection review and acquisition strategy that will maximize fun per dollar and time of life. I'm 46, happily married with 4 kids. My wife and I figure we're not spending this money on fancy cars or brothels or divorce courts. So I'm lucky to be able to afford a nice watch every year or two, and a really nice watch every 3 to 5 years, and each piece influences what comes next. Assuming this collection will include an Explorer 2 down the road, how might you go about deciding what's next based on the following wish list? Now, he's mentioned a Cartier Santos skeleton, like the one in the attached photo with the blue bezel, and or some kind of F-off Rolex, like a Daytona Ghost or rose gold on Oysterflex. Diamonds, I have plenty of under-the-radar stuff. If I had a Cartier and Daytona and Explorer 2, would there be any reason to get a Yachtmaster 2? I was thinking two-tone, gold black dial. I also love the Vacher and Constantine 1921 and the Overseas. That's the driver's watch and the Overseas. But now we're tying up a lot of money. And I really want a moon phase. Yes, I fell in love with a Lange 1, but can't decide on the color, the dial color, or white gold, platinum, rose gold, or if I really must have a moon phase in a Lange in particular. I'm open to JLC and other brands. I clearly have more than enough already, but no, I'll always want one more. And so I appreciate your direction and vicarious experience. Thank you, Fred. Okay, so what do I think? I'm going to tell you some honest truth, Fred. What a big, I got to tell you, man, I think you got to build a bit more, okay? I like the collection. I like your heart. You got a good heart, but I'm not seeing enough substance to warrant this as a collection. I see a hodgepodge of pieces, odd bits and loose ends. What I would like to see you do is it's like preparing for battle. We've got to have a strategy. Now, what I would tend to do is I would say, fuck, you want to build a collection. We got to stop with this idea of giving shit away. I mean, giving shit away, we're not going to have anything if we keep giving our money away. You know, it just doesn't work that way. So what I'd do is I got to tell you, you got some serious coin. You've got the Patek. That's a fuck off Patek. I like the Zenith. I like I don't mind the Pam. I don't mind the Tudor sub. I don't really like the Speedmaster. But ignoring that, what would I do is I would get a Battle Defense. If you're going to build a collection worthy of inheritance fights, I would build Rolex. Firstly, with Rolex, I would say to myself, what do I need? Well, you need a Rolex diver. Okay. So what would I be looking at if I was you? I would be thinking two-tone sub would be a great choice. A sub date or no date. Maybe a Sea Dweller. Okay. I'm wearing, as a quick wristwatch check, I'm wearing my two-tone bluesy as I'm making this vid. I seriously think if you're going to build a collection, you're going to have to cover some bases. So we need a Rolex diver. Next piece is we need a Rolex GMT. Okay, now we've already spoken about this, and you've decided on an Explorer 2. Beautiful. What else do we need? We need a Rolex. I'm not going to say chronograph because, you know, I think you've got, okay, we'll come. I think you need a Rolex casual business watch. What would I recommend? Three-hander, Milgauss, a Explorer 1, or a Datejust, or an Oyster. But we want something very casual to add to the collection. So we really need to have 3 Rolexes in this collection. The next thing we need to do is we need to have a bit more focus here. I would like to see you add, if we're going to add pieces here, we want to have a bit of an Omega contingent. So Omega, I'd be adding a Seamaster, some sort of Seamaster. I would be adding with the Pam. The Pam is cool. Pam is cool, but I'd be adding some funky monkeys. I'd be adding some class into the collection. Class. What would I add there? I'll tell you what I'd add. I would be adding class. I'd add a JLC. Now you could add a Polaris. You could add a Reverso. Add some class. I would also perhaps add a Breguet. I reckon a Breguet Type 20 or a Type 21 would be amazing in this collection here to give you some substance. What else would I add? I would add, you really want to add some, I would tend to add some serious watches. Okay, so what would I add there? See, you've got the Zenith. I'd add an IWC. I would add serious watches. I would also be adding just unique, interesting pieces. As I said, the Breguet, that's a piece. I would also be adding, you know, maybe you could add a Grand Seiko if necessary, if you wanted to go that way to diversify. You've really got to have a collection. My opinion is, with the grandiose speech of being the family patriarch, you really need to have 10 to 15 watches. Okay, that's what you need. 10 to 15 watches. That's what you need to do. Okay, that's really what you need to do. You need to add, that needs to be the number. So I would be really pushing like crazy to do that. So let's look at your email to me here. So let's have a look here. I'm asking for a collection review. So the collection review, I'll be honest with you, you need to add more. I want to be truthful. You paid money. I'm going to tell you the fucking truth. You need to add more shit. You don't have enough shit there for it to be a good collection. It's fucking lacking. You need to have 10 to 15 watches. That's what you fucking need to have. Okay, that's the number. Okay. So you're saying, I'm asking for a collection review and acquisition strategy. Okay. Fun per, yep, exactly. You're 46, you got kids, blah, 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 blah. Okay, assuming the collection exclude Explorer 2. Okay, so I really, okay, we've discussed that. The Cartier Santos skeleton, I'll be honest with you, I would rather get the Reverso. I'd rather get a Reverso. And or Rolex, I would be getting steel, get a diver, get a casual. That's what I'd be getting, my concrete bases to build the rest on. Fancy wancy shit is not really the way I would go, because you don't have enough substance in your collection. If you had the Cartier and Daytona and an Explorer, would there be any reason to add? Well, the reality is yes, because I've told you to add a diving sort of a Rolex diver. So the Yachtmaster 40 would qualify as that. So definitely. You also love the Vacheron 1921 and the Overseas. Okay, the 1921 is beautiful, but they're fucking expensive. The Overseas, they're actually starting to plummet a fair bit. Okay, so on the secondary market, they're coming down. I still think, as I said, follow my advice. Three Rolex, add more Omega, add class, JLC Breguet, and add serious watches, IWC, Grand Seiko. So that'd be my strategy. That's the way I would do it. You want a moon phase, and I fell in love with the Lange. Lange one's a great piece. They're expensive. I probably would be adding a master control. I think JLC master control would be a great moon phase to go there. But it depends on your money, how much money you want to pump in. I still think a Lange 1 would be a great super piece. I definitely, and you can buy a Lange 1. You can get the older ones. They were about 38 mil size, but they wear big, chunky monkey. They're actually quite, look, prices, they were bargains. They went up, and now they're starting to slide back down again because the watch market, the economy is a little bit, it's not as good as it was. Okay, let me just say that. Okay, 15 interest rate rises in a row hasn't really fucking helped consumer confidence. So they come back down a bit. So that's what I would be doing. So realistically, I think you need 10 to 15 watches, and you need to put some serious concrete foundations before we start talking fantasy watches. The Patek is beautiful. The Patek is really beautiful. It's a great watch, but we need to add more concrete. Otherwise, this tower will collapse. So there you go. That's the advice. I hope I haven't offended you or upset you, but I had to tell you the truth. You need 10 to 15. That's what you need, 10 to 15. Otherwise, you're pissing into a campfire. Guys, that's the advice. This advice is for Fred. If you need advice, guys, get a paid review. $50. I'll tell you the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to lick your ass. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the good, the friendly, and the ugly. I'll be honest with you. Guys, it's not easy doing this work because I operate in a small niche. Google Ads is fucked. I need more paid reviews. And guys, look down below in the description, get a paid review. And if you are looking at buying or selling a watch, there's only one person in America I recommend. And that is, who is it? It's David S.W. My good friend, David S.W.
Hi guys, it's ArchieLuxury. Guys, I want to talk to you about David S.W. David S.W. David S.W. Guys, if you are in America, if you are looking for a Rolex watch of your dreams, in fact, if you're looking for a contemporary modern wristwatch, I strongly advise you to look at David S.W. Guys, don't play the dealer games. Don't bring in chocolates or Krispy Kremes for your dealer hoping to get a Rolex at retail. It's futile. Please, guys, save your dignity. keep some pride, go to David SW. I would highly recommend David SW, David SW. If you're in America and you're looking for a watch, go to David SW, David SW, David SW.